Meaning of Genesis 1:9, Understanding the Creation Story. Introduction. The book of Genesis in the Bible tells the story of the creation of the universe. The first chapter of Genesis describes the creation of the world in 6 days, with each day having a specific purpose. Genesis 1:9 is a verse that describes the third day of creation, where God creates the dry land and separates it from the waters. In this article, we will explore the meaning of Genesis 1:9 in the context of the creation story and its significance in understanding the Bible's view of the universe's origins. The third day of creation, separating the waters. Genesis 1:9 states, "And God said, Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. This verse describes God's creation of the dry land on the third day of creation. Before this, the earth was covered with water, and there was no dry land. Significance of the third day of creation. The third day of creation is significant because it represents the transition from chaos to order. God's act of separating the waters and creating the dry land symbolizes the establishment of boundaries and the creation of a stable environment. This sets the stage for the creation of life on earth, which is described in the subsequent verses of Genesis. Theological implications of Genesis 1:9. The creation story in Genesis has theological implications that go beyond its literal interpretation. The act of God separating the waters and creating the dry land can be seen as a metaphor for God's role in establishing order and structure in the world. It also represents the idea of boundaries and the importance of respecting them. This has significant implications for how we understand our relationship with God and with each other. Genesis 1:9 and environmentalism. The creation story in Genesis also has implications for environmentalism. The act of separating the waters and creating the dry land can be seen as an affirmation of the importance of ecological balance. The waters and the land are interdependent, and their separation and establishment of boundaries are essential for the preservation of life on Earth. This has implications for how we treat the environment and the responsibility we have as stewards of God's creation. The meaning of Genesis 1:9 today. Genesis 1:9 has relevance today, both in terms of our understanding of the creation story and our relationship with the environment. It reminds us of the importance of order and boundaries in the world and the responsibility we have as caretakers of God's creation. Conclusion. Genesis 1:9 is a powerful verse that describes God's creation of the dry land and the establishment of boundaries and order in the world. It has theological implications that go beyond its literal interpretation and relevance for understanding our relationship with the environment. As we continue to explore the creation story in Genesis, we can gain a deeper understanding of our place in the world and our responsibilities as stewards of God's creation.